Cool. Can you see it again, bro?
Yeah, I'm looking now. I don't see anything on YouTube though. Yeah.
Nothing on YouTube.
No, I can see your screen now.
Okay.
It says live now. Yeah.
Cool. Just wait till everyone hops over here. Always the bad luck with this stream. I kicked. I'm sitting with my legs now this way. It's kicked the extender. My word. Okay. Okay, cool. Seems like everyone's back. Sorry about that. We always get this bad luck before the pre-market or just as it starts, but we are back right here. So let's just go over what I just said. So DXY starting to give us some displacement to the upside, which technically this is a market structure shift. This right here is a market structure shift, and we could potentially see more upside potential. So let me just go back to where I was. So quarter 3, quarter 4, and then quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this year, we have our highs and lows. Our highs and lows are being formed very early on in the quarters. As you can see, this quarter 3 we had the high very early on, and then the low of that specific quarter very early on in that quarter, and then obviously the high of the quarter was very well at the very end of the specific quarter. Why is everything just struggling? My trading view is struggling at the end of the day a lot lately, and it's not about Wi-Fi. Bringing up my trading view again, guys. There we go. Should be better now. Okay, cool. So as we see that we formed the high and low very close to the end or the start of the specific quarter. So as we can see, quarter 4, we created a high right there and then created a low at the very end. So you see the relationship between the highs and lows and where it ends and where it forms in the specific cycle of the year. So as we can see, there is quarter 1 low and then quarter 1 high, and then quarter 1, 2 low and quarter 2 high, and then quarter 3 immediately created a high and then created a low right here. So we could potentially see the straight run in this distribution phase to get to our levels we have outmarked here, which is our previous year high and this relative equal highs on quarter 2, which is very possible to reach in the coming weeks and 3 months of the year that is left. So the other scenario, so I have two scenarios on DXY. Either we run immediately down now and create the low of the quarter and then run to the highs, or this is our low now, and we start running to the upside to our buy side liquidity. This second scenario is actually a better alternative for me, because as we see in the data, we can see that price creates that high or low very early on or at the end of that cycle. So yes, we could see that this is maybe a false market structure shift, and we can see that tumbling into our key level right after this run above this high. So levels to look at is obviously the breaker block in this range. So as you can see there, we have a breaker block. So this breaker block is something to look at, and then any fair value gaps that is residing in the same the same level as that specific breaker block. As we can see, we have a fair value gap there. So these are the levels I'll be watching coming into this week. I'm sure that maybe we'll get some form of retracement, and if we get that retracement, it depends on what happens here for us to, in order to confirm another run to the upside, which ultimately is going to be all the way back to this weekly fair value gap. So up here we have a weekly fair value gap. This could possibly be the draw now, because of we've inversed this fair value gap right here. So these are levels to look at for the coming week. We might just get into them and then run away, and then possibly target that weekly fair value gap up there. We can see we have a big displacement and running above a short-term high, which is a swing high. That is for me a market structure shift. So likely to see some form of retracement into this inversion fair value gap and then a run higher. That's possibly what I see. Okay. Anything from you, though?
Yeah, no, I think very possible. So we just wait and see what our key interest levels give up.
Okay, no problem, bro. This is definitely something to look for. We have some very nice displacement right off the bat, so possibly looking to see higher prices coming into the new next month. Why is this thing glitching now? Cool. So let's go to gold. Since gold is running, DXY is running up, we would like to see some lower prices on gold. So still looking to see this weekly fair value gap to be our next draw on liquidity. I do feel like last week we had a very inside week, and there's a very good reason to run here, since we have that week's low and this previous week lows intact still, and then we didn't displace this high at all. So failing to displace, not even getting to the high, this is a nice signature for price to ultimately run down here. This is just a drawn liquidity, so if there's some shorting positions, I would use this as a target. And then obviously we have another one right here. So these levels will be kept in mind for the week coming, and I do believe that we'll have some nice opportunities running towards this level or running from this level again. So let's just go to a daily chart. So on a daily chart, same thing. We can't displace. We are holding this order block right here to the midpoint. So very possible to see that drawdown into this weekly fair value gap, which can be refined into that daily fair value gap. So looking at this very low right here and that high right there. So with that, we have our discount and premium. So right here, we have our discounted range of the specific daily range, discount range on a daily. So if we are if discount is here, we are resting in a premium now. So it's the best to short in this area to go down to a discount. So keeping it simple, won't have too much on my charts. This is all we need. I think, really believe that we're likely to run down to this fair value gap coming into this week. So let's go to Euro USD. Euro USD, crazy stuff, also been running very aggressively to the downside. Had some markings here. Still have that previous year high to the left. Haven't tapped yet. So also need to look at that for possible, if this quarter, well, this quarter started now, we could possibly run up there. That means DXY will run down into that yearly fair value gap of ours. But yeah, price is disrespecting order blocks and breaking below lows. This is a good sign of market structure, showing us a bit of a downside. What we do have is a fair value gap here. I'm not too sure if we will reach it. If price is very bearish, we won't get up there. But if dollar is going to retest in some way, the euro will also retest in some way, and that will be that daily fair value gap. So going to a weekly chart now, but my there we go. So as we can see on a weekly chart, starting to displace lower, just like DXY, we've broken through the swing low, and we've broken through this specific fair value gap right here. So as DXY will also have a inverse fair value gap right here. This is a level to notice in the week, and how price actually respects this area coming into this week. If next week closed below it, we could then possibly look for more lower prices. So yeah, this is as good as it gets, guys. I think market structure shift right here after the high right here, and this high was taken. We are likely to see some more downside. I see a G bomb to the downside as well here, and yeah, this could result in very good opportunities. I think just patience, and yeah, more just patience on waiting for the retracement and not getting too greedy or having FOMO, not getting in too early. So yeah, this is a quite nice chart. I would be looking at euro this week. Not too sure if we're gonna reach these lows for the week, but if we're gonna reach for lows, possibly gonna be these previous week lows, such as these ones, and possibly get into this rejection block. So right there, that's a possible draw on liquidity for the coming week. So if we go to a 4-hour, just want to check something in this upwards range. So on a 4-hour, we have a big inefficiency down there, and then a big candle, NFP candle, with that fair value gap there and that inversion fair value gap. So this is a very nice area to wait for, and we possibly going to see some good opportunities this week. We didn't run this low, so these are becoming equal lows. Well, did not run it. This is becoming equal lows, which is sell side liquidity. So I'll be looking for lower prices coming in this week, since we have displaced last week. Okay. So Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is fighting back with the NFP report, even running upwards with the DXY, which we normally don't see. So with Nasdaq, I do think that it's possible for a top off where price can run one more time, getting above these highs, and then getting the reversal. So for Nasdaq, I do believe we are in for a very big move to the downside. We have some serious liquidity down here in the form of equal lows, and we could possibly see very big swings on the Nasdaq for the coming 3 months. I don't believe that we'll just continue to run up, which is possible, but having the thought that DXY is possibly going to trade higher to previous year highs, we might see another run and then we can see the drop. But for the people that are here that don't know, you can join us every day at 3:30 South African time for our 9:30 club, whereby we analyze Nasdaq and live trade Nasdaq. So hit us up in the Discord, type in 9:30 club, and we'll add you to the group. Yeah, very very good stuff there, and a lot to learn. So yeah, let's check here. So Nasdaq, let's go to a weekly chart. Let me just show the key levels. So as we see, we are starting to respect this by so one more run above this high, then I would like to see that reversal coming in and ultimately target these lows on 17,500. So I'm gonna ask the people in the chat which other pairs I must look at. So I'll give two people chance. No one in the chat wants to give us a chart there. No charts, no charts. Go a bit to a AUD USD. So order has also been aggressive to the downside. We've taken buy side liquidity equal highs right here. My chart can load, and immediately rejected that level. So this is a very nice chart to look at coming to the next week. As I also see a fair value gap right there. That could be a draw on liquidity, and I do think this blue box is a weekly fair value gap. Okay, now so it just needs to be refined there. So yeah, early on this week, I would like to see price run into this fair value gap. That is my ultimate draw for this week. There's nothing too much to the downside besides this fair value gap, which I can draw through. Price could possibly also reach this. Very nice chart. We have some relative equal lows here. This could be a big reversal, guys, as DXY gave us so many equal highs that everything just ran the opposite end before actually going to the original target. So what is happening here could be an early indication of actually going long term to the downside. Well, mid-term, which is 3 months. So if we go to a NZD USD, we can see New Zealand dollar didn't run to the ultimate high and actually just rejected the first high. This is a smart money tool, a divergence, because AUD USD ran above that high there. And yeah, this is also a very beautiful chart to look at, since we also have this relative equal lows. We also have this big inefficiency and a smaller inefficiency down here as a draw on liquidity. So right there we have that small little fair value gap there. We've displaced below the previous week low. This makes this a change in state of delivery, an order block. So this entire up close candle right here, that's an order block. I would like to see price open, run into this inversion fair value gap. This is now an inversion fair value gap, and run into this change in the state of delivery, then push us down into these levels. So if we look at the range, or the projections rather, trading view is mad. We are likely to see those projections line up with these lows. If my trading view, I could show you guys, but right here, these lows will be delivery. So I would see price run up, creating a high of week, at least on Tuesday, then run all the way down. Monday, Tuesday is no news. So price will be in its best form and will run very nicely coming into the next week. So let me just show you guys. So right here we have the economic calendar. So